Hello there, and welcome to this quiet space. Find a position that feels comfortable and effortless. Allow your body to grow heavy, to feel supported by the surface beneath you. Let your breathing slow to its own natural rhythm. There is nothing to do right now, and nowhere else to be. The day is done. You can let go of any thoughts or plans, and just allow your mind to be here in this calm moment. Tonight, we will be drifting through the green world of the Rainforest Canopy. This is a journey of soft discovery, a gentle exploration of the world that exists high above the forest floor. We will move at an easy pace, learning without pressure. You are free to fade in and out of listening. The story will stay simple and the sounds will remain soft. Just settle in and let us begin our quiet journey into the leafy world above. The rainforest is not a single entity, but a world of layers. The highest layer is the emergent layer, where giant trees push through the ceiling of green below. These trees can be over 60 meters tall, like lonely islands in a sea of leaves. They endure the full force of the sun, wind, and rain. Life up here is different, exposed, and resilient. Only the hardiest eagles, butterflies, and some monkeys make their home in these towering branches. From this high vantage point, the rest of the forest unfolds like a vast, textured blanket. In this way, the canopy begins not with a crowd, but with solitary giants standing watch over the world below. Let that idea rest for a moment before we move on. Just below the emergent giants lies the main canopy. This is a dense, continuous layer of leaves and branches, often about 30 to 45 meters above the ground. It is the powerhouse of the rainforest, where the majority of photosynthesis happens. This green ceiling captures around 95% of the sunlight, leaving the world below in a state of perpetual twilight. The canopy is so thick that it forms a world of its own, a teeming city of life that rarely, if ever, touches the ground. It is a place of abundance, filled with flowers, fruits, and countless creatures. Over time, this layer has evolved to be a world of its own, bustling with life. Nothing urgent here, only a slow and steady pattern. The air in the canopy is a living system. Trees release water vapor through their leaves in a process called transpiration. This moisture rises, cools, and helps form the clouds that will eventually return rain to the forest. A single large tree can release hundreds of liters of water into the atmosphere each day. The canopy effectively creates its own weather, a cycle of breathing and mist that sustains the entire ecosystem. This constant humidity is what gives the rainforest its damp, heavy feel, a living atmosphere created by the trees themselves. Meanwhile, this process continues day after day, a quiet, rhythmic exhalation that shapes the sky. You can breathe a little deeper and allow the thought to drift. Not all plants in the canopy have roots in the ground. Many are epiphytes, plants that grow on the surface of other plants without harming them. Bromeliads, orchids, and ferns are common epiphytes, creating miniature gardens on the branches of large trees. They collect rainwater in their leaves and draw nutrients from the air and from decomposing debris that gathers around them. A single tree in the canopy can host hundreds of individual epiphytes, becoming a crowded apartment building for smaller plants. As you rest, you can picture these small gardens suspended in the air, finding a home high above the soil. Hold the shape of that thought lightly and return to ease. Bromeliads are a particularly important type of epiphyte. Vases of the rainforest is a fitting name for them. Their overlapping leaves form a central cup that collects rainwater, sometimes holding several liters. These tiny, high-rise ponds become entire ecosystems of their own. They provide a safe place for tree frogs to lay their eggs and a source of water for birds and monkeys. Insects, snails, and even small salamanders can live their entire lives within the confines of a single bromeliad. This is a world within a world, a tiny aquatic habitat nestled in the arms of a tree. From a distance, these details are lost, but up close they reveal a complex web of life. Let the body grow heavier as the mind stays simple. Sunlight is a scarce resource below the canopy. The leaves are perfectly designed to maximize what little light they receive. Many canopy leaves have a waxy coating and a special shape known as a drip tip. This pointed tip allows rainwater to run off quickly and efficiently. This prevents the growth of mold and algae that could block sunlight and hinder photosynthesis. It also ensures that water is funneled down to the tree's roots on the forest floor or to the epiphytes clinging to its bark. Every drop of rain is guided on its journey. Up close, the intelligence of these simple shapes becomes clear, a design perfected over millennia. Let that settle like dust on a quiet floor. Lianas are the woody vines that drape themselves throughout the canopy. They begin their lives as small shrubs on the dark forest floor, then race upward using trees as support to reach the sunlight. Once in the canopy, they spread their leaves and flourish. Their thick, woody stems can form intricate networks, creating aerial pathways and bridges between trees. These vine roads are used by countless animals, from ants to monkeys, to travel through the canopy without touching the ground. They are the forest's natural highways, woven into the very fabric of the trees. Beneath the surface of the green, these woody ropes connect everything. Return to the easy rhythm of your breath. The strangler fig has a unique and patient life strategy. Its journey begins when a seed, often dropped by a bird, sprouts high on a branch of a host tree. From here, it sends long roots down toward the ground. Once they reach the soil, these roots thicken and grow stronger. Over many years, more roots are sent down, encasing the host tree in a lattice-like prison. Eventually, the strangler fig's canopy grows so thick that it blocks the sunlight from the host tree, which dies and rots away. The fig is then left standing on its own, a hollow, freestanding tree formed from its own network of roots. Elsewhere in this picture, this slow, deliberate process unfolds, a testament to the forest's patient cycles. Let the thoughts soften at the edges and fade. Many of the largest rainforest trees have developed a unique support system called buttress roots. These are enormous, plank-like roots that flare out from the base of the trunk. They can be several meters tall and extend just as far outward. Because rainforest soil is often thin and nutrient-poor, trees do not have deep taproots. Instead, these buttress roots provide stability, anchoring the massive trees in the shallow soil like the fins on a rocket. They also help to gather nutrients from the top layer of the ground where most of the decomposition happens. In quieter hours, you can imagine these silent wooden walls holding up the giants of the forest. Rest in the steady comfort of this moment. The sounds of the canopy are a symphony of life. By day, the air is filled with the calls of birds, the buzzing of insects, and the chatter of monkeys. As night falls, a different chorus begins. The chirping of crickets, the deep croaks of tree frogs, and the strange calls of nocturnal mammals create a rich and immersive soundscape. Each sound has a purpose, a call for a mate, a warning of danger, or a claim of territory. The canopy is never truly silent. It hums with the constant overlapping voices of its inhabitants, a living sound that rises and falls with the sun. With unhurried steps, the rhythm of day gives way to the rhythm of night. Set the idea down and feel the weight release. Sloths are masters of energy conservation, perfectly adapted to a life of slow motion in the canopy. They spend most of their lives hanging upside down from branches, a posture made possible by their long curved claws and specialized muscle structure. Their diet consists almost entirely of leaves, which are low in calories and difficult to digest. To cope, sloths have an incredibly slow metabolism and a multi-chambered stomach that allows them to slowly break down the tough plant matter. They move so little that algae can grow in their fur, providing a greenish tint that serves as excellent camouflage. Along a steady path they move with a calm that matches the forest itself. Let your shoulders drop and the jaw unclench. Howler monkeys are famous for their incredibly loud calls. Their chorus can travel up to 5 kilometers through the dense forest, making them one of the loudest land animals on Earth. These sounds are produced by a specialized enlarged hyoid bone in their throat. This bone acts as a resonating chamber, amplifying their calls. They don't howl out of aggression, but primarily to communicate their location to other troops, helping to space themselves out in the forest and avoid conflict over food resources. It is a way of marking territory with sound instead of fighting. Without any hurry, their voices establish the boundaries of their world each morning. Feel the calm gather around you again. In the gentle background of the Canopy's drama, countless species of orchids bloom. As epiphytes, they cling to the bark of trees, asking for nothing but a place to sit. Rainforests host thousands of orchid species, each with a unique flower designed to attract a specific pollinator. Some mimic the appearance of a female insect to trick a male into pollinating it. Others offer a nectar reward or emit a specific scent that can be detected from a long way off. These delicate flowers are a testament to the power of specialization, a quiet and beautiful puzzle of coevolution between plant and pollinator. The intricate design of each bloom is a story in itself. Settle back into the soft pace of night. The leafcutter ant is one of the most organized and industrious inhabitants of the rainforest. These ants do not eat the leaves they carry. Instead, they transport the leaf fragments down to their vast underground nests. There, they chew the leaves into a pulp, which they use to cultivate a special type of fungus. This fungus is the colony's sole source of food. A single colony can contain millions of ants, each with a specific job, from soldiers that protect the foragers to tiny workers that tend the fungus gardens. With simple patience, they build a complex society hidden beneath the forest floor, all powered by the leaves from the canopy above. Allow the mind to idle in gentle space. Toucans are one of the most recognizable birds of the canopy, known for their enormous, colorful bills. This bill, which can be up to a third of the bird's total length, is surprisingly lightweight. It is mostly hollow, with a network of bony struts for support. While it is used for reaching fruit on branches that are too small to support the bird's weight, its primary function is likely thermal regulation. The bill has a rich supply of blood vessels, and by adjusting the blood flow, the toucan can release body heat and stay cool in the humid rainforest climate. Through a soft lens, the bill becomes not a weapon, but a delicate instrument for balance. Let the body be held by what supports you. Many animals in the canopy have evolved prehensile tails, which act like a fifth limb. Spider monkeys, for example, have a tail that is so adept it has a bare ridged patch on the underside, much like a fingerprint for better grip. They can use their tails to grasp branches, hang their full body weight, and even pick up objects. This frees up their hands for gathering food. Kinkajous and olingos, two nocturnal mammals, also rely on their prehensile tails for security as they navigate the treetop world in the dark. In a calm rhythm, this adaptation provides a crucial sense of safety and balance in a world high above the ground. Allow the day to fall away now. Under quiet skies at night, a different set of animals emerges in the canopy. The kinkajou, also known as the honey bear, is one such creature. With large eyes and a long tongue, it travels through the treetops in search of ripe fruit and nectar. They are important pollinators, transferring pollen from flower to flower as they feed. Unlike many canopy dwellers, they are solitary foragers. Their soft, dense fur and quiet movements make them difficult to spot. By night, they move through the same branches that monkeys and birds use by day, living in a parallel world of shadows and scent. Rest in the quiet that follows. The emerald tree boa is a master of camouflage. This non-venomous snake spends its days coiled on a branch, its brilliant green scales dotted with white, perfectly mimicking the dappled sunlight filtering through the leaves. It remains almost perfectly still, waiting for darkness. At night it becomes an ambush predator, hanging from a branch in an S shape, ready to strike at passing birds or small mammals. Its long front teeth are perfectly designed for grabbing feathered prey. With the same easy pace as the forest itself, it embodies the patient rhythm of predator and prey. Let your breathing find a slower pace. Hummingbirds are tiny marvels of the canopy. Their wings can beat up to 80 times per second, allowing them to hover, fly backward, and change direction with incredible speed. This requires an immense amount of energy, which they get from drinking nectar from flowers. To survive the night when they cannot feed, many hummingbirds enter a state of torpor. This is a deep, sleep-like state where their heart rate and body temperature drop dramatically. It is a form of nightly hibernation that allows them to conserve precious energy until the sun rises and the flowers open once more. As the night settles, they find a way to rest in a world that demands constant motion. Feel the simple ease of being here. The blue morpho butterfly is one of the largest and most spectacular insects in the rainforest. The upper side of its wings is an iridescent metallic blue. However, the wings contain no blue pigment. The color is a result of structural coloration. Microscopic scales on the wings reflect light in such a way that only the blue wavelengths are visible to our eyes. The underside of the wings is a dull brown, with large eye spots. As the butterfly flits through the forest, it flashes blue, then brown, then blue again, confusing predators and making it difficult to track. In this quiet corner, even color is a form of motion and defense. Hold only the calm, and let the rest drift. Decomposition in the rainforest is incredibly rapid. On the forest floor, a fallen leaf might disappear in a matter of weeks, compared to a year or more in a temperate forest. This is thanks to the warm, humid conditions and the army of decomposers like fungi, bacteria, and termites. This quick recycling of nutrients is essential because the soil itself is very poor. All the life of the rainforest is sustained by this thin, fragile layer of decaying matter on the surface. With steady breath, the forest reclaims its own, ensuring nothing is wasted in the great cycle of life and death. The canopy holds this pattern without effort. Many canopy plants have a symbiotic relationship with ants. The acacia tree, for example, provides nectar and specialized hollow thorns for a species of ant to live in. In return, the ants act as the tree's personal bodyguards. They viciously attack any other insects that try to eat the tree's leaves. They will even swarm and bite larger animals, like sloths or monkeys, that try to browse on the branches. The ants also clear away any competing seedlings or vines that sprout near the base of the tree. As the pattern repeats, this partnership allows both tree and ant to thrive in a competitive world. Let that image dissolve into quiet green. Poison dart frogs, despite their name, do not produce their own toxins. They get their potent poison from the insects they eat, primarily certain species of ants and mites. The frogs are able to sequester these toxins and store them in their skin without being harmed themselves. Their bright colors serve as a warning to predators. I am poisonous. Do not eat me. This strategy, called aposematism, is common in the rainforest. It is a silent language of color, where the most vibrant creatures are often the most dangerous, and therefore the most safe. In this way, their beauty is their shield. There is only the gentle hum of the forest, Seed dispersal is a critical service provided by canopy animals. Many trees encase their seeds in delicious fruit to entice animals to eat them. A monkey might eat a fruit and then travel to a different part of the forest before depositing the seed in its droppings, complete with a small pile of fertilizer. Tapirs and other large ground animals do the same. Some seeds have barbs or hooks that attach to the fur of passing animals, hitching a ride to a new location. This process ensures that new trees do not grow in the shadow of their parents, allowing the forest to spread and regenerate. Over time, the forest is replanted by the very creatures it feeds. Let that idea rest for a moment before we move on. The kapok tree is one of the true giants of the emergent layer. Its trunk is often straight and clear of branches until it reaches the canopy, where it spreads into a wide, umbrella-like crown. The wood is very lightweight and brittle, but its sheer size and buttress roots keep it stable. Its flowers bloom at night, producing a foul odor to attract its main pollinators, bats. After pollination, the tree produces large seed pods filled with a fluffy, cotton-like fiber. This fiber, also called kapok, allows the seeds to be carried long distances by the wind, ensuring the next generation of giants can find new places to grow. Meanwhile, these quiet giants preside over the forest. Nothing urgent here, only a slow and steady pattern. As you rest, you might consider the understory, the layer between the canopy and the forest floor. It is a world of deep shade, stillness, and humidity. Here, smaller trees and shrubs wait patiently for a gap to open in the canopy above, a chance for a sliver of direct sunlight. Growth is slow. Plants in the understory often have very large leaves to maximize their ability to capture the few specks of light that filter down. It is a quiet, waiting world, home to animals like jaguars, red-eyed tree frogs, and countless insects that thrive in the dim, humid conditions. It is a place of patience. You can breathe a little deeper and allow the thought to drift. The air itself is a pathway for sound. In the upper canopy, where the air is more open, high-frequency bird calls work best. They are clear and easy to pinpoint. Down in the dense understory and on the forest floor, however, high-frequency sounds get scattered by the thick vegetation. For this reason, many animals living in the lower layers, like howler monkeys or certain ground-dwelling birds, use low-frequency calls. These deep sounds travel much farther through the dense foliage without distortion. From a distance, the forest seems to have different voices for its different levels, each one perfectly tuned to its environment. Hold the shape of that thought lightly and return to ease. The olinguito is a mammal that was only recently identified by science as a distinct species. It lives high in the cloud forests of the Andes, a type of rainforest. For years, it was mistaken for its larger cousin, the olingo. The olinguito is a solitary, nocturnal creature that feeds on fruit and insects. It is the smallest member of the raccoon family. Its discovery reminds us that the rainforest canopy still holds secrets, and that there are still new species of mammals waiting to be found in the dense, unexplored treetops. The canopy keeps its mysteries well hidden. Up close, there is always more to find. Let the body grow heavier as the mind stays simple. Camouflage is an essential survival tool in the canopy. The stick insect, for example, is almost indistinguishable from a twig, swaying gently as if moved by a breeze. The potu, a nocturnal bird, spends its days perched motionless at the top of a broken stump. Its mottled gray and brown feathers blend in so perfectly with the wood and bark that it simply disappears. This form of camouflage, called crypsis, is not about hiding, but about blending in plain sight. It is a strategy of stillness and deception, practiced by countless creatures in the complex visual environment of the forest. Beneath the surface, life finds unending ways to hide. Let that settle like dust on a quiet floor. The Hudson is a strange, prehistoric-looking bird found in the swamps and mangroves of the Amazon. It is sometimes called the stink bird due to the foul manure-like odor it produces. This smell comes from its unique digestive system. The hoatzin is one of the only birds that digests leaves through bacterial fermentation in its crop, much like a cow. This process is inefficient and makes the bird a clumsy flyer. Hoatzin chicks have an even more unusual feature. They have 2 claws on the front of their wings, which they use to climb through the trees before they can fly, a primitive trait lost in almost all other modern birds. Elsewhere in this picture, ancient traits persist in quiet corners. Return to the easy rhythm of your breath. Many flowers in the canopy have evolved to be pollinated by bats. These flowers are often different from those pollinated by birds or insects. They tend to be large, pale, or white, and open only at night. This makes them more visible in the darkness. They also produce a strong, musky, or fermented odor rather than a sweet one to attract the bats. And they produce large quantities of nectar to reward their nocturnal visitors. Bats are essential pollinators for many important canopy trees, including the kapok and some species of fig. In quieter hours, a whole different system of pollination takes place under the moon. Let the thought soften at the edges and fade. The glass frog has translucent skin on its belly. If you were to hold one in your hand, you could see its internal organs, including its beating heart, liver, and digestive tract. This strange feature may help with camouflage. When the frog rests on a leaf, the see-through skin helps to break up its outline, making it harder for predators to spot. The edges of the frog blend in with the leaf, diffusing the light that passes through its body. It is a unique and delicate form of blending into the background, a disappearing act made of skin and light. With unhurried steps, nature finds the most surprising solutions. Rest in the steady comfort of this moment. The concept of a canopy bridge is a simple but effective conservation tool. As forests become fragmented by roads and development, animals that live exclusively in the trees can become trapped in small patches of forest. To help them cross these dangerous gaps, researchers and local communities sometimes build simple rope bridges between trees on opposite sides of a road. Monkeys, sloths, kinkajous, and other canopy dwellers have been observed using these bridges to safely travel between fragmented habitats. It is a small, helping hand that allows the forest's aerial pathways to remain connected. Along a steady path, these bridges restore a sense of wholeness. Set the idea down and feel the weight release. The army ant is a nomadic predator of the forest floor and understory. They do not build permanent nests. Instead, they march in huge columns, consuming any small creature that cannot get out of their way. At night, the entire colony, which can number in the hundreds of thousands, forms a living nest called a bivouac. The ants link their legs and bodies together to create a solid, protective mass, with the queen and her larvae held safely in the center. Every few weeks, the colony alternates between a stationary phase, when the queen lays eggs, and a nomadic phase, when the ants march in search of new foraging grounds. Without any hurry, they move as one giant organism through the forest. Let your shoulders drop and the jaw unclench. In the gentle background, tiny fungi form vast networks that connect the roots of different trees. This is called a mycorrhizal network. The fungi help the trees absorb water and nutrients from the poor soil. In return, the trees provide the fungi with sugars produced through photosynthesis. But the network does more than that. It allows trees to communicate and share resources. An older, taller mother tree can send nutrients through the network to smaller seedlings struggling in the shade. It can also send chemical signals to warn neighboring trees of insect attacks. The forest is connected by an invisible underground web of cooperation. Feel the calm gather around you again. Termite mounds are a common feature of the rainforest, some reaching several meters in height. These mounds are complex architectural feats built from soil, saliva, and dung. They are designed to maintain a stable internal temperature and humidity, perfect for cultivating the fungi that many termite species eat. The mounds have a sophisticated system of vents and tunnels that allow for air circulation, drawing in cool air and expelling hot air. They are, in effect, the self-regulating lungs of the colony. With simple patience, these tiny engineers build structures that can last for decades, shaping the landscape around them. Settle back into the soft pace of night. Macaws are the long-tailed, vividly colored parrots of the rainforest canopy. They are highly intelligent and social birds, often forming lifelong pair bonds. They can be seen flying in pairs or family groups, their bright primary colors flashing against the green of the trees. Their powerful beaks are strong enough to crack open hard nuts and seeds that other animals cannot access. Macaws also have an unusual habit of eating clay from exposed riverbanks in what are known as clay licks. Scientists believe the clay helps to neutralize toxins from some of the seeds they eat and provides essential minerals missing from their diet. Through a soft lens, their behavior reveals a deep knowledge of the forest's chemistry. Allow the mind to idle in gentle space. The Jesus Christ lizard, officially the basilisk lizard, has an amazing ability. When threatened, it can run across the surface of water on its hind legs. It achieves this feat by slapping its large, specially fringed feet against the water, creating a pocket of air that keeps it from sinking, as long as it maintains its speed. It is a brief, frantic dash for safety that seems to defy gravity. This allows it to escape predators that cannot follow it into a river or pond. A resident of the lower canopy and waterways, it lives at the intersection of land and water, ready to run on either. In a calm rhythm, even the surface of water becomes a pathway. Let the body be held by what supports you. Many rainforest plants contain chemical compounds that have been adapted for medical use. The rosy periwinkle from Madagascar, for example, produces compounds that are now used in chemotherapy drugs. Quinine, a treatment for malaria, comes from the bark of the cinchona tree. Curare, a plant-derived substance used by indigenous people for poison darts, led to the development of muscle relaxants used in modern surgery. The canopy is a vast living pharmacy, holding countless potential cures that are still unknown to science. Under quiet skies, the leaves and bark hold secrets to our own healing. Allow the day to fall away now. The life of a spider monkey is dominated by the search for ripe fruit. They have long, spindly limbs and a highly effective prehensile tail that allows them to move gracefully and quickly through the trees. They are a fission-fusion society, meaning the main group often splits into smaller subgroups to forage during the day, then comes back together to sleep at night. This flexibility allows them to efficiently search for scattered fruit sources. They play a vital role as seed dispersers, far more effective than many other primates because they tend to swallow fruits whole. With the same easy pace, they swing through the branches, planting the future of the forest. Rest in the quiet that follows. As the night settles in the canopy, the nocturnal tamandua, a type of anteater, begins its search for food. It uses its long snout and sharp claws to tear open the nests of ants and termites high in the trees. Its prehensile tail provides a secure anchor while it works. The tamandua is protected from bites and stings by its thick, coarse fur. It has a long, sticky tongue that it can flick in and out rapidly to lap up its insect prey. It does not destroy the nests, but feeds for only a few minutes before moving on, allowing the colony to rebuild and ensuring a sustainable food source for the future. In this quiet corner, even hunting has a gentle rhythm. Let your breathing find a slower pace. The resplendent quetzal is considered one of the most beautiful birds in the world. It lives in the cloud forests of Central America. The male has an iridescent green body, a bright red breast, and famously long tail feathers that can be up to a meter in length. These extravagant feathers play a role in courtship displays. Despite their bright colors, they can be difficult to spot in the dappled light of the canopy. The quetzal nests in tree holes, often carving them out of rotting wood. It is a symbol of beauty and freedom, a fleeting jewel in the misty green heights. With steady breath, you can picture this vibrant bird resting on a branch. Feel the simple ease of being here. When a giant canopy tree falls, it is a major event in the forest. It creates what is known as a light gap on the forest floor, a sudden clearing where direct sunlight can finally reach. This triggers a frantic race for life. Seeds that have been lying dormant for years suddenly sprout. Seedlings and saplings in the understory that have been growing slowly for decades put on a burst of growth. Fast-growing, sun-loving pioneer species quickly colonize the gap, forming a dense tangle of vegetation. Over many years, slower-growing, shade-tolerant trees will eventually rise up and the canopy will close once more. As the pattern repeats, death creates the opportunity for new life. Hold only the calm and let the rest drift. The Goliath bird-eater is the world's largest spider by mass. It lives on the forest floor of the Amazon. Despite its name, it rarely eats birds. Its diet consists mainly of insects, worms, and small amphibians. It is a burrowing spider, living in deep tunnels that it digs itself. It is an ambush predator, waiting near the entrance of its burrow for prey to wander by. The spider has urticating hairs on its abdomen, which it can flick at potential threats. These tiny barbed hairs can cause significant irritation if they come into contact with the skin or eyes of a predator. In this way, this gentle giant has a quiet but firm way of asking to be left alone. The canopy holds this pattern without effort. Fruit bats, or megabats, are crucial to the health of the rainforest. Unlike insect-eating microbats, they have large eyes and a keen sense of smell to find ripe fruit and nectar-filled flowers in the dark. Many species are keystone pollinators and seed dispersers for the trees of the canopy. They can travel long distances in a single night, carrying seeds far from the parent tree and helping to regenerate deforested areas. The seeds of the fruits they eat pass through their digestive systems unharmed. The forest at night is a world of movement, tended by these gentle, winged gardeners. As the pattern repeats, they help stitch the forest together. Let that image dissolve into quiet green. A river of ants is a sight to behold. This is not a march of army ants, but a mass migration of leafcutter ants. When a colony decides to move to a new nesting site, millions of individuals stream through the forest in a continuous flowing line that can be several inches wide and stretch for hundreds of meters. The larger soldiers march along the edges, protecting the smaller workers who are often carrying eggs, larvae, or pieces of their precious fungus garden. The entire colony moves as a single, coordinated entity, a flowing river of life on the forest floor, all directed by invisible chemical signals. In this way, they flow like water to a new home. There is only the gentle hum of the forest. Certain species of rainforest butterflies engage in a behavior called puddling. They gather in groups on moist soil, sand, or even animal dung. They are not drinking water, but rather using their long proboscis to draw up essential minerals and salts, especially sodium, that are scarce in their diet of nectar. This behavior is most common in males. who then transfer the minerals to females during mating. This nutritional gift helps to improve the viability of the female's eggs. Over time, this collective act of drinking from the earth sustains the next generation, a quiet and beautiful ritual on the forest floor. Let that idea rest for a moment before we move on. The Cecropia tree is a fast-growing pioneer species that thrives in light gaps. It has a hollow trunk and branches, and a unique symbiotic relationship with Azteca ants. The tree provides the ants with shelter within its hollow chambers and produces special food bodies at the base of its leaves. In return, the ants provide ferocious protection, swarming any animal that tries to eat the tree's leaves and clearing away any encroaching vines. This partnership is so successful that the Cecropia tree is often one of the first to colonize a clearing, its wide umbrella-like leaves quickly creating a new patch of shade. Meanwhile, this rapid growth helps the forest heal its own wounds. Nothing urgent here, only a slow and steady pattern. The understory is a world of intricate and subtle communication. Many birds that live in the dim light of the lower levels have evolved complex visual signals to communicate. The manakin, a small bird, is famous for its elaborate courtship dances. The males gather in groups called leks, where they perform a series of rapid acrobatic jumps, slides, and wing-snapping displays to attract females. Each species has its own unique and highly choreographed dance. It is a silent language of movement, a burst of energy and color in the quiet gloom of the understory. As you rest, you can imagine these tiny dancers performing in a theater of leaves. You can breathe a little deeper and allow the thought to drift. The Amazon river dolphin, or boto, is a species of freshwater dolphin that lives in the rivers of the rainforest. Unlike their marine cousins, they are often a pale pink color and have a flexible neck that allows them to turn their head 90 degrees. This is an adaptation for navigating and hunting among the flooded tree trunks during the rainy season. Their eyesight is poor, so they rely heavily on echolocation to find their way and hunt for fish in the murky water. They are creatures of a world where the forest floor disappears underwater for half the year. From a distance, their pink forms are a surreal and gentle sight in the brown water. Hold the shape of that thought lightly and return to ease. The Goliath beetle, found in the rainforests of Africa, is one of the heaviest insects in the world. As a larva, it lives in rotting wood, growing to an impressive size. As an adult, it feeds primarily on tree sap and fruit. When it flies, the sound of its buzzing wings has been compared to a small helicopter. Despite their size, they are gentle creatures. Their armored exoskeleton provides excellent protection from predators. Their sheer bulk is a testament to the abundance of life and nutrients available in their tropical home, a world that allows even insects to grow to giant proportions. Up close, their size is a quiet reminder of nature's endless variety. Let the body grow heavier as the mind stays simple. The Rafflesia flower, found in Southeast Asian rainforests, produces the largest single flower in the world. It can grow to be over 1 meter in diameter. The Rafflesia is a parasitic plant with no visible leaves, stem, or roots. It lives entirely within the tissue of a specific vine. When it is ready to reproduce, it grows a huge cabbage-like bud that bursts into a massive 5-petaled flower. The flower smells of rotting meat, which attracts the carrion flies that are its primary pollinators. The bloom lasts only a few days before wilting away. Beneath the surface of the ordinary, the forest hides these spectacular, fleeting events. Let that settle like dust on a quiet floor. The proboscis monkey, found only on the island of Borneo, is known for the male's unusually large, fleshy nose. The exact function of the nose is still debated, but it is thought to be a result of sexual selection. Females may prefer males with larger noses. The nose may also act as a resonating chamber, amplifying the male's warning calls. These monkeys are excellent swimmers, often leaping from tree branches into rivers to escape danger. They have partially webbed feet and hands. They live at the interface of forest and water, another example of a creature perfectly adapted to its unique niche. Elsewhere in this picture, strange and wonderful forms of life abound. Return to the easy rhythm of your breath. The phenomenon of crown shyness is a mystery of the canopy. In some forests, the crowns of individual trees of the same species grow close to each other but do not touch. They form a network of channels and gaps, creating a beautiful, puzzle-like pattern when viewed from below. Scientists are not certain why this happens. One theory suggests it is to avoid the spread of leaf-eating insects. Another proposes that the branches are abraded by wind, preventing them from growing into each other. Whatever the reason, it is a display of natural spacing, a polite distance kept by the giants of the forest. In quieter hours, you can picture this gentle separation between the trees. Let the thought soften at the edges and fade. The electric eel is not actually an eel, but a type of knife fish. It lives in the slow-moving rivers of the Amazon and Orinoco basins. It has 3 pairs of abdominal organs that can generate powerful electric shocks. It uses a low-voltage discharge for navigation and hunting in murky water, similar to echolocation. When it finds prey or feels threatened, it can unleash a high-voltage shock strong enough to stun a large animal. This remarkable ability allows it to be a top predator in its aquatic environment, a silent hunter that commands its space with an invisible force. With unhurried steps, it moves through the water, a master of its own energy. Rest in the steady comfort of this moment. The bullet ant has the unfortunate reputation of delivering the most painful sting of any insect. The pain is described as a deep, throbbing ache that can last for up to 24 hours. These large ants forage individually on the forest floor and in the lower canopy. Despite their powerful sting, they are not aggressive and will only sting as a last resort in self-defense. For some indigenous communities in the Amazon, the bullet ant plays a role in painful initiation rites for young men, a testament to their endurance and a deep cultural connection to the forest's formidable inhabitants. Along a steady path, respect is born from understanding the power in all living things. Set the idea down and feel the weight release. Rainforest rivers and streams are often colored dark, like black tea. This is not because they are dirty, but because of tannins that leach into the water from decaying leaves and other plant matter on the forest floor. These blackwater rivers are very acidic and low in nutrients. A different set of fish and other aquatic life is adapted to thrive in these specialized conditions. The dark water also limits the growth of algae, which is why it remains so clear despite its color. Without any hurry, the forest itself brews a kind of tea, staining the rivers with its essence. Let your shoulders drop and the jaw unclench. The pygmy marmoset is the world's smallest monkey, small enough to fit in the palm of a human hand. They live in the upper canopy of the western Amazon. Their diet is highly specialized. They use their sharp lower incisors to gnaw holes in the bark of trees and vines to feed on the sap and gum that flows out. They live in small family groups and communicate through a series of high-pitched whistles and calls, too high for many predators to hear. Their tiny size and quick movements make them very difficult to study in the wild. Another small secret held by the dense canopy. In the gentle background, even the smallest creatures find their place. Feel the calm gather around you again. The cassowary, a large, flightless bird of New Guinea and Australia's rainforests, is a vital seed disperser. It is one of the few animals large enough to swallow the fruits of certain rainforest trees whole. It can consume fruits that are toxic to other animals. The seeds pass through the bird's digestive system and are deposited far from the parent tree. Researchers have found that seeds that have been eaten by a cassowary have a much higher rate of germination. In this way, the cassowary is a keystone gardener ensuring the survival and spread of many tree species that would otherwise have no way to reproduce. With simple patience, it walks the forest floor, planting a garden as it goes. Settle back into the soft pace of night. The katydid is an insect that has taken camouflage to an artistic level. Many species in the rainforest have evolved to look exactly like leaves. Some are a perfect, uniform green, complete with imitation leaf veins. Others look like leaves that are partially eaten, or leaves that are decaying and turning brown. Some even have markings that look like bird droppings. This incredible mimicry is their primary defense against the sharp-eyed birds and monkeys of the canopy. They remain perfectly still during the day, becoming just another leaf on a branch, a small, quiet deception in a world of green. Through a soft lens, you can appreciate the art of disappearing. Allow the mind to idle in gentle space. Rainfall in the canopy is a multi-stage event. When rain begins, much of it is intercepted by the leaves and branches of the emergent and upper canopy layers. This is called interception loss. The water that does get through trickles down branches and drips from leaf tips. This through-fall and stem flow is a much gentler and more prolonged process than a direct downpour. It reduces soil erosion on the forest floor and gives the ground more time to absorb the moisture. The forest wears the rain like a coat, slowing it down and distributing it with care. In a calm rhythm, the water makes its patient journey to the earth. Let the body be held by what supports you. Under quiet skies, the Indian giant squirrel navigates the canopy of South Asia. This large tree squirrel is known for its stunning multicolored fur, with patches of cream, tan, and deep maroon. It is an incredibly agile creature, capable of leaping up to 6 meters between trees. It rarely leaves the canopy, building its large, globe-shaped nests high in the branches. It feeds on fruits, nuts, and flowers, and like many canopy dwellers, plays a role in dispersing seeds. Its vibrant coat, while seeming conspicuous, actually helps it blend into the shifting patterns of light and shadow in the treetops. Its beauty is its own form of camouflage. Allow the day to fall away now. The sundew is a carnivorous plant that can be found in the nutrient-poor soils of some rainforests. Its leaves are covered in tentacles that secrete a sticky, glistening substance that looks like dew. Insects are attracted to the sweet scent and the promise of a drink, but become trapped in the glue-like substance. The plant's tentacles then slowly curl inward, and the leaf secretes digestive enzymes to absorb the nutrients from the insect's body. This is a clever adaptation for survival in a place where the soil offers little nourishment. With the same easy pace, the plant finds a way to supplement its diet from the air. Rest in the quiet that follows. The walking palm, or cachapona, is a tree with a peculiar root system. Instead of a single trunk entering the ground, it stands on a cone of stilt-like roots. An old and unproven legend says that the tree can walk by growing new roots in the direction of sunlight and letting its old roots on the shady side die off. While the tree does not actually walk from place to place, this flexible root system does help it to stabilize itself in a new position if a nearby tree falls and changes the light conditions. It slowly adjusts its footing to seek the sun. As the night settles, the forest slowly repositions itself. Let your breathing find a slower pace. The ai, a lemur from Madagascar, is one of the strangest primates in the world. It has large eyes for nocturnal vision, rodent-like incisors that never stop growing, and a very long, thin, and flexible middle finger. It uses this finger for percussive foraging. It taps lightly on tree branches, listening for the echo to locate insect larvae tunneling in the wood. Once it finds a grub, it gnaws a hole in the bark with its teeth and then uses its specialized finger to extract the meal. It fills a niche similar to a woodpecker, another example of convergent evolution in a distant land. In this quiet corner, nature finds similar solutions to similar problems. Feel the simple ease of being here. The air on the forest floor is often very still. The dense canopy above acts as a barrier, blocking the wind. This has a significant impact on the plants and animals that live there. For plants, it means pollination by wind is not a viable strategy. Instead, they must rely on insects, birds, and other animals. For animals, it means that sound and scent linger in the air for longer, changing the way they communicate and hunt. This stillness creates a fundamentally different sensory world from the breezy, open environment of the upper canopy. With steady breath, you can feel the heavy calm of the air at the forest's feet. Hold only the calm and let the rest drift. Many frogs and other amphibians in the rainforest never have to touch a pond. Instead of laying their eggs in water on the ground, they use the tiny pools that collect in bromeliads, in fallen leaves, or in tree holes. Some species, like the glass frog, lay their eggs on a leaf overhanging a stream. When the tadpoles hatch, they simply drop into the water below. Other marsupial frogs have a pouch on their back where the female carries her eggs. The tadpoles develop in this moist, protected pouch, emerging as fully formed froglets. As the pattern repeats, life finds a way to ascend from the water into the trees. The canopy holds this pattern without effort. The Wallace's flying frog, found in Southeast Asian rainforests, is a master glider. It has oversized, fully webbed feet. When it leaps from a branch, it spreads its toes, and the webbing acts like a set of 4 small parachutes. By angling its feet and body, it can glide for distances of 15 meters or more, allowing it to escape predators or simply move to a new tree. This is not true flight, but a controlled fall. It is a graceful and efficient way to travel through the 3-dimensional world of the canopy, turning a fall into a flight. In this humid air, even the frogs have learned to use the sky. Let that image dissolve into quiet green. In this way, the canopy itself is a study in verticality. Different species are often specialized to live at very specific heights. A certain species of bird might forage only in the understory, while another sticks to the upper canopy. Some ants may live their entire lives on a single tree. This vertical stratification reduces competition between species. By dividing the forest into different levels, a greater diversity of life can coexist in the same small area. The rainforest is not just a wide space, but a tall one, with each floor having its own unique set of residents. There is only the gentle hum of the forest. The tapir is a large, pig-like mammal that roams the forest floor. It has a short, prehensile snout that it uses to grab leaves and fruit. As one of the largest herbivores in the rainforest, it is a crucial disperser of large seeds, earning it the nickname gardener of the forest. Its bulky body creates paths through the dense undergrowth that are then used by smaller animals. They are solitary and shy, most active at twilight and during the night. The tapir is an ancient creature, having remained largely unchanged for tens of millions of years, a living fossil still tending to the forest floor. Over time, its steady work helps shape the future forest. Let that idea rest for a moment before we move on. Cloud forests are a special type of rainforest found at high altitudes. They are so named because they are almost constantly shrouded in mist and fog. This persistent moisture supports an incredible abundance of epiphytes. The branches of the trees are often completely covered in a thick, spongy mat of mosses, ferns, and orchids. This mat soaks up water like a sponge, creating an even more humid microclimate. The air is cool and the light is diffuse. Life in a cloud forest is adapted to this perpetually damp, ethereal environment. Meanwhile, the world seems to float in a cool green mist. Nothing urgent here, only a slow and steady pattern. The silky anteater is the smallest of all anteaters and lives a completely arboreal life. It is nocturnal and rarely descends from the trees. It has soft, silvery fur and a prehensile tail that it uses to anchor itself to branches while it feeds. Like its larger relatives, it has powerful claws for tearing into insect nests and a long tongue for lapping them up. Its movements are slow and deliberate, and its small size and coloration make it very difficult to spot. It is another quiet, nocturnal specialist of the high canopy. As you rest, picture this gentle creature moving silently through the nighttime branches. You can breathe a little deeper and allow the thought to drift. The scent of the rainforest is a complex mixture of compounds. The earthy smell of damp soil and decaying leaves is called geosmin, the same compound responsible for the smell of freshly plowed earth or the air after a first rain. This is mixed with the sweet fragrance of blooming flowers, the sharp scent of crushed leaves, and the subtle, musky odors of animals. This rich olfactory landscape is a vital form of communication. Animals use scent to find food, mark territory, and attract mates. From a distance, the air itself seems to carry the stories of the forest, hold the shape of that thought lightly, and return to ease. The orangutan, whose name means person of the forest, is a great ape found only in the rainforests of Borneo and Sumatra. They are the largest arboreal animal in the world, spending almost their entire lives in the trees. They have long arms and powerful hands and feet that are well suited for climbing and swinging. Orangutans are mostly solitary, unlike the more social African apes. Mothers have an incredibly close bond with their young, who will stay with them for up to 8 years, learning all the skills they need to survive, including which of the hundreds of types of fruit are safe to eat. Up close, their intelligence and gentle nature are unmistakable. Let the body grow heavier as the mind stays simple. The binturong, or bear cat, from Southeast Asia, is a strange creature with the body of a small bear and the face of a cat. It is one of the only Old World mammals with a prehensile tail. It is a slow, methodical climber, using its tail as a safety grip. The binturong is also notable for its unusual scent. It produces a smell that is often compared to that of buttered popcorn. This scent comes from a gland and is used to mark its territory as it moves through the trees. Beneath the surface, the air is full of these invisible messages, a language of scent that marks pathways through the canopy. Let that settle like dust on a quiet floor. Peccaries are social, pig-like animals that roam the forest floor in herds. They are important ecosystem engineers. As they forage for roots, tubers, and fallen fruit, they churn up the soil with their snouts. This disturbance helps to aerate the soil and creates opportunities for new seeds to germinate. Their wallowing in mud puddles creates temporary pools of water that are used by insects and amphibians. They are a noisy, active force of change on the forest floor, a constant source of small-scale renewal that helps keep the ecosystem dynamic and healthy. Elsewhere in this picture, these busy families are tilling the forest floor. Return to the easy rhythm of your breath. The pitcher plant is another type of carnivorous plant. Its leaves have evolved to form a deep pitcher or cup that holds a pool of digestive fluid. Insects are lured to the pitcher by nectar and color. The rim of the pitcher is often slippery, causing the insect to fall in. Once inside, it is unable to escape and is slowly dissolved, providing the plant with vital nutrients. Some of the largest pitcher plants are big enough to trap small frogs or even rodents. It is a passive but highly effective way of hunting. In quieter hours, these strange, waiting traps are a silent feature of the forest understory. Let the thought soften at the edges and fade. The flying dragon lizard of Southeast Asia does not truly fly, but it is an expert glider. It has a set of elongated ribs that it can extend to form a wing-like membrane called a patagium. This allows it to glide for long distances between trees. When not in use, the wings are folded against its body. The male has a brightly colored throat flap, or gular flag, which it extends and flashes to defend its territory or attract a mate. It is a small, dramatic reptile that has conquered the air between the trees. With unhurried steps, life has found ways to bridge the gaps in the canopy. Rest in the steady comfort of this moment. Natural tree falls create vital habitat complexity. When a tree falls, it does not simply disappear. The massive trunk can take decades or even centuries to decompose. As it rots, it becomes a home for countless organisms. Fungi and beetles colonize the dead wood. Frogs and lizards hide in the crevices. The hollows become dens for small mammals. The fallen log acts as a nutrient bank, slowly releasing its stored resources back into the soil. It also becomes a nurse log, a fertile raised bed where new tree seedlings can get a start, safe from the competition on the crowded forest floor. Along a steady path, decay becomes a cradle for new life. Set the idea down and feel the weight release. The cotingas are a family of birds in Central and South America known for the brilliant plumage of the males. The spangled cotinga, for example, is a shocking turquoise blue with a deep purple throat. These colors are not for camouflage, but for attraction. Like the mannequins, male cotingas often gather at leks to display for females. The females, by contrast, are usually a dull brown or gray. This allows them to remain inconspicuous while they build their nests and incubate their eggs. Without any hurry, beauty and practicality find a balance in the canopy. Let your shoulders drop and the jaw unclench. In the gentle background, the process of pollination is a marvel of specialization. The flower of a specific vanilla orchid in Mexico can only be pollinated by a single species of bee. The Brazil nut tree, a giant of the Amazon, depends on large, strong-bodied orchid bees for pollination. These bees are the only insects powerful enough to pry open the flower's heavy hood to reach the nectar inside. This extreme specialization means that the fate of the plant is tied directly to the fate of its pollinator. If the pollinator disappears, the plant cannot reproduce. This delicate, interwoven dependency is a hallmark of the rainforest's complexity. Feel the calm gather around you again. The leaf mimic, katydid, not only looks like a leaf, but it also acts like one. When it walks, it does so with a swaying, jerky motion, as if it were a dead leaf being blown by a gentle breeze. This behavioral mimicry adds another layer to its camouflage, making it even more convincing to a potential predator. Some species can even change their color over time to match the changing colors of the foliage around them. With simple patience, they embody their disguise, a creature pretending to be a plant with absolute commitment. Settle back into the soft pace of night. The Goliath frog of West Africa is the largest frog in the world. It can grow to be the size of a domestic cat. It lives in fast-flowing, clear rivers within the rainforest. Unusually, males are larger than females. They construct large nests for their eggs, clearing circular areas in the riverbed and sometimes moving rocks that weigh several pounds. This nest-building behavior is a rare example of parental care in frogs and may explain why the males need to be so large and powerful. It is a quiet giant, creating a safe space for the next generation in the river's current. Through a soft lens, its size is a sign of its dedication. Allow the mind to idle in gentle space. The process of transpiration helps to drive the movement of water from the roots to the leaves, sometimes over 100 feet up. As water evaporates from the leaves, it creates a tension, a negative pressure in the tree's water conducting tubes called xylem. This tension pulls the column of water upward. It is a passive process, powered by the sun and the physics of water cohesion. It is a silent, powerful engine that lifts tons of water into the canopy every day, sustaining the life of the tree against the constant pull of gravity. In a calm rhythm, the forest draws water from the earth to the sky. Let the body be held by what supports you. The canopy is not a uniform green. From an airplane, it looks like a collection of different textures and shades. Each tree species has its own unique color of green, its own crown shape, and its own flowering and leafing schedule. Some trees may be dropping their leaves while others are in full bloom. This creates a constantly shifting mosaic of color and texture. Experienced indigenous people can read this mosaic from a distance, identifying a fruiting tree or a good place to hunt simply by the subtle variations in the color of the canopy. Under quiet skies, the forest canopy is a map of its own abundance. Allow the day to fall away now. Rainforest soils are often ancient and heavily weathered. Millions of years of heavy rainfall have bleached most of the soluble minerals and nutrients out of the soil, leaving behind a clay-like earth that is rich in iron and aluminum oxides. This is why many tropical soils are reddish in color. The vast majority of the rainforest nutrients are not in the soil, but are locked up in the living vegetation and the thin layer of decomposing matter on the forest floor. The entire vibrant ecosystem is balanced on this surprisingly fragile and impoverished foundation. With the same easy pace, life has learned to thrive on very little. Rest in the quiet that follows. As the night settles, the tarsier emerges in the rainforest of Southeast Asia. It is a small primate known for its enormous eyes. In fact, relative to its body size, it has the largest eyes of any mammal. Each eyeball is as large as its brain. This adaptation gives it excellent night vision for hunting insects and other small prey. Tarsiers cannot move their eyes in their sockets. To look around, they must turn their entire head. They have a flexible neck that allows them to rotate their head almost 180 degrees in each direction, just like an owl. In this quiet corner, another nocturnal hunter watches the darkness. Let your breathing find a slower pace. The agami heron is a reclusive and beautiful bird of Central and South American rainforests. It is sometimes called the chestnut-bellied heron. It has a slender body, a very long, thin bill, and an array of soft, colorful plumes. It is a shy bird that hunts for fish in the shallow, shady streams of the understory. It is rarely seen in the open. Its preference for dark, overgrown waterways makes it very difficult to study, and little is known about its behavior. It is a jewel of the shadows, a quiet fisherman that prefers to be left alone. With steady breath, you can picture this elegant bird standing perfectly still in a dark stream. Feel the simple ease of being here. Many plants in the rainforest understory have developed iridescent leaves. The peacock begonia, for example, has leaves that shimmer with a metallic blue hue when viewed from a certain angle. This is not a pigment, but another form of structural coloration. The chloroplasts in the leaf cells are arranged in such a way that they maximize the absorption of the dim red and green light that filters down to the forest floor while reflecting the blue light. It is an adaptation to capture as much energy as possible in a light-starved environment. As the pattern repeats, even the leaves learn to bend the light to their will. Hold only the calm and let the rest drift. The pangolin, found in the rainforests of Africa and Asia, is the only mammal in the world to be covered in scales. These scales, made of keratin, the same material as our fingernails, provide excellent protection from predators. When threatened, the pangolin rolls itself into a tight ball. It is a solitary, nocturnal creature that feeds almost exclusively on ants and termites, using its long, sticky tongue. It is a quiet and harmless animal, another specialist of the forest floor and lower canopy, moving slowly through the night. Between the broad leaves, these gentle, armored creatures make their rounds. The canopy holds this pattern without effort. Gap dynamics, the process of trees falling and creating clearings, is a primary driver of diversity in the rainforest. Different species are adapted to thrive at different stages of this cycle. Some are fast-growing pioneers that need full sun. Others are slow-growing, shade-tolerant species that will eventually take over. This constant cycle of disturbance and succession ensures that the forest is not a static, uniform entity, but a dynamic patchwork of habitats at different ages. This complexity, in turn, supports a wider variety of animal life. In this humid air, change is the engine of stability. Let that image dissolve into quiet green. The margay is a small wild cat that lives in the rainforests of Central and South America. It is a truly arboreal cat, spending almost all of its life in the trees. It has incredibly flexible ankle joints that can rotate 180 degrees. This allows it to climb down trees head first, a feat few other cats can manage. It also allows it to grasp branches with its hind feet while its front feet are free. It is an agile and stealthy hunter of the canopy, preying on monkeys, sloths, and birds. As you rest now, this silent cat is moving through the branches far away. There is only the gentle hum of the forest. Many indigenous tribes have a deep symbiotic relationship with the rainforest. Their traditional knowledge of plants and animals, gathered over thousands of years, is immense. They know which plants are edible, which are medicinal, and which are poisonous. They understand the complex cycles of fruiting and flowering, and the behavior of the animals they hunt. This knowledge is not just practical, but is woven into their culture and spirituality. For them, the forest is not a resource to be exploited, but a living, ancestral home to be respected. In another way, the forest holds memory in its people. Let that idea rest for a moment before we move on. Forest elephants in Africa are a distinct species from the larger savanna elephants. They are smaller and live in the dense rainforest. They are also vital ecosystem engineers. As they move through the forest, they create a network of trails and clearings. By feeding on saplings and smaller trees, they help to thin the forest, which has been shown to favor the growth of larger, slower-growing trees that store more carbon. They're also major seed dispersers, eating fruits and depositing the seeds miles away. Over time, their presence helps to shape a healthier, more carbon-rich forest. Nothing urgent here, only a slow and steady pattern. The Canopy Walkway is a tool that has revolutionized rainforest research. These are long suspension bridges and platforms built high in the canopy, allowing scientists to study this previously inaccessible world up close. From these walkways, researchers can observe animal behavior, collect plant specimens, and study the interactions between species without disturbing the forest floor. It has opened up a new frontier of discovery, revealing countless secrets about the life that unfolds in the treetops. As you rest, you can imagine standing on one of these bridges, looking out over the endless green sea. You can breathe a little deeper and allow the thought to drift. And so, our gentle journey through the rainforest canopy comes to a close. We have drifted from the sun-drenched emergent layer down to the dim and quiet forest floor. We have met the slow-moving sloth, the vibrant macaw, and the hidden glass frog. We have seen how the forest breathes, how it drinks the rain, and how it recycles its own life with patient, steady rhythms. The canopy is a world of incredible complexity, a delicate web of life where every leaf, every creature has its place. As you continue to drift deeper into sleep, you can hold on to that feeling of green, of life, of quiet interconnectedness. Let the sounds of the forest fade into a gentle hum. The night is quiet now, and you can rest. Sleep well.